Happy Monday, good people, and our family, friends, foes, and you know what you are. Yeah, that because Hayes went ahead and said it for me. Um, and every damn thing else in between. Good morning, Judge P. Now, look, it's been hard for me the last couple of days, Judge. When I say folks been trying me left and right, I'm talking about left and right and left. And I done sat down and handled it so professionally, like this situation that happened with my children fathers showed me a lot. Not just my children fathers, everybody else that was incorporated in the situation. We done got too old now. Matter of fact, I think Boosie said it better. If you don't know who Boosie is, he's a very known rapper. He was on this show called 85 South Show, and he pretty much was saying, we grown now. We can't handle stuff the same way we used to, because the way I used to handle things is, head on. Tell people exactly what it is. Now, I realized as I was doing it in this situation, that's exactly what got me messed up, because these people didn't want to face they demons, which is me, head on. The reason why I say I was the demon is because they knew exactly what they was doing to me behind the doggone scenes. And when I said something about it, that's when it's like I'm the problem. I'm just like, no, I just voiced what the problem was. So, uh, long story short, I'm only really making this video for my dude because I feel like we kind of at a crossroads right now because some things went down in our work environment, and I think he don't really understand that a lot of it happened because folks is jealous of me for no odd reason. If you do not believe me, when I see you in court, I will give you my dude number and I will let you talk to him, and he will explain to you. He don't really know too much about nothing, but he will explain to you what went down in this doggone situation here at work with folks that don't even know me. I'm talking about this girl in the work with me like 3, 4 days, and I'm talking about she cannot stand me. It's just something about me, and I don't even talk when I'm at work. I don't say nothing to nobody. I was there doing my doggone job, and apparently that was not good enough for her. She didn't even want me to do the job that I was there getting paid to do because she didn't want me to do it. And Judge, it was just so doggone much. But shout out to my doggone son, my oldest, Damien. I took your advice on this situation because you remember when you got the fighting last year in sixth grade, only because now this is not what you told me, son, but I read energy very well. Even though you're not around me, I can still feel your energy. When you telling me about the situation, that's how I'm able to tell y'all when you're lying and when you're not. That's how I'm able to tell a lot of people when they lying and when they not. So this is the situation. This is your personal reading, son. Um, when the little boy came up and hit you, you was thinking in your head, like, look, this really not even that serious because you came and you got a problem with me. I know that's how you think. But in your head, again, because you think just like your mama, it's like it's two different opinions all the time. On one end, you just like, man, bruh, what's your issue? And that's exactly how I was thinking when it came to this girl at my workplace, son. I was sitting up there like, what in the world is this girl issue with me? Like, you don't even know me. I don't know you. I don't talk to you. You don't talk to me. What the fuck is your problem, Judge? I'm serious. I was sitting there look when I explained the situation and what happened. I got the report. I can, because I went ahead and made an actual report about it because I'm not gonna sit here and keep on playing with these doggone people no more. I'm grown. And if they want to handle the situation, you can't threaten nobody these days and get away with it. See, I done learned that from these people that were trying to make it seem like I was threatening them, but I wasn't actually threatening them. This was an actual threat. And I reported her doggone tail, sure did. And the whole situation surrounded it because this ain't the first time this girl had an encounter with me and I just let it roll over my doggone back. And they say keep on turning the other cheek, but this is the third time. So I'm just like, I guess the third time is the doggone charm. So I turned one cheek, I turned the other cheek. I didn't have another cheek to turn. So, that's just what happened. I guess it's the same thing that happened when it came to my children, and they fathers. And I turned one cheek first time when a man did the mess he did. I turned the cheek the second time, and then I didn't have another cheek. The dog gonna turn. So I mean, it's just like, well, it was bound to actually come out. Now, see, the thing is with them, um, they knew it was a lot of stuff going on surrounding this situation. Instead of them actually telling everything involved in it, they decided to tell everything that they thought was gonna make me look bad and make it seem like I got a mental issue. But the mental issue came from the fact that everything that was going on surrounding me and my kids should have been handled by the police department the way it was supposed to, especially with somebody coming in and kicking in my doggone door with me and my children at home. You know, that's a situation that should have been taken very seriously. They didn't do nothing about that. They didn't do nothing about nobody vandalizing my car when me and my kids was at home. It doesn't matter what I was saying because everything that was going on was me pretty much telling about folks stealing money. That's what it was, Judge. Up until the beginning of this doggone year, folks was just mad and they was snooping on my doggone Facebook page like they be snooping on this here YouTube page. That's the reason why sometimes I may lie. I lie about my personal business because I don't like people in my personal business. You know, I say in the videos down below, believe a quarter of what you hear and everything that you see. Now that's definitely when it comes to me. That when it pertains to me, I can tell you anything when it comes to my doggone life. Just believe what you see, not what I tell you. Now some things are true, you know, because there's some things that I do want people to know. Some things are not. And I try to, railroad them somewhere else and out of my doggone business, hopefully in the direction of theirs so they can stay up out of mine. But that don't really work. They try to use that against me too. But like I said, the mental issues come from the fact of the situation that happened when it comes to my daughter, Judge. You cannot tell me if it happened to your child. Listen, I understand a lot of folks was making it seem like I wasn't supposed to be saying that, but what was I supposed to do if I don't even have custody of my doggone children? My children end up being snatched from me before I was able to do something about the situation. And yes, I called and I went down there. Matter of fact, I took my children down there to the Family Justice Center to see about the situation. That did what a parent would do. Now you got to understand this is very personal for me because I have been molested as a child in my own home. So, and a lot of my family members know that, and I think yeah, every last one of my children's fathers know that as well. So this is very personal. So when I went to them about the situation, not only did I want them to think about how it would make me feel, that's the reason why I came at my son's father the way I did, because I'm just like, bruh, this has never happened to me in my life. Nothing has ever happened surrounding my kids. Nothing has ever happened surrounding my home or my car. None of this has ever happened till I started fooling with you. And he did not know that I knew that he was already talking to somebody behind my doggone back. And I went ahead and just put that and, directed that towards him because, the first time my car windshield was busted out, he was in the doggone car. And he was also communicating with the female that he, I guess, is currently with now. And he kept trying to lie, making it seem like it was nobody else. So I just calculated everything together because it don't make sense. It didn't make sense to me at all for somebody just to be attacking my property and attacking my home and all the rest of that because I'm talking about some stolen money. If they were supposedly not stealing nothing or doing something behind the scenes, I would have brushed it off like girl crazy and whatever. I wouldn't have retaliated on her. I wouldn't have went and spread no doggone lies on her. I wouldn't have did all that old stuff if they didn't want other people to hate me because of what I was saying that they was actually doing. Like my family. Now, that's a whole nother situation and a whole nother topic. But like I said, even when it came to my cousin coming to that doggone door, she didn't come to the door. She didn't bring the police and she didn't call my son's father until I text her and told her and that is about this money and where it went to, and that they was the culprits. They was the two people that was involved that right now are being looked at because they the ones that had access to it. Her and her family knew about the money, and I'm legally still married to him. And then all of a sudden, it's like they grouped up together, and then now I'm supposed to be the worst parent in the world, and my kids, are not safe with me and all the rest of that. But they forgot to mention everything that happened previous to May that would make somebody almost lose their doggone mind. Hell, having a doggone miscarriage and having to deal with that by yourself, that's already some like even every time I walk down my steps, like I literally it triggers something in me because I remember running down the steps, cooking for a man that was actually involved with another woman and I fell down the steps and my water broke. I mean, it wasn't too much. It was like a splash of water. But I was just newly pregnant, so I kind of in my head kind of like brush it off a little bit. But Judge, these people really want me to brush off my doggone feelings. They were sitting here trying to make it seem like I was doing something wrong because I'm over here voicing my emotions to the situation at hand and what happened. I don't care if it happened to me a long time ago. You see, I keep on bringing up the fact that my brother, my stepbrother, molested me, and I'm not gonna drop that. Jeremy, am I lying? Then I just tell you not too long ago when you left about this house, I was gonna make sure that something is done about it. I was gonna speak about it because I'm tired of even dealing with it within myself. Y'all make it to where y'all do a whole bunch of stuff to me and I'm supposed to just bury it within myself. No, that causes somebody to blow up. That causes people to have mental issues. So I use what I know to do, which is to speak on what was done to me, how I feel about it, and how it was wrong. Y'all know y'all was wrong. And I'm not gonna shut up about it. And I didn't care who looked at me like I was crazy. I didn't care what nobody said. I was getting justice for my child. I don't care what nobody said about that. I was never gonna shut up about that because I don't understand how y'all expect that to be swept up under the doggone rug. Then especially the effort, the extra information that she gave me on the situation that I didn't even know prior, and I'm still going hard for the situation because the what she said she said, I don't believe it. She should have never said that. It should have never been asked, period. But then the rest of it that came along with it, and then everybody making it seem like that's it's like y'all trying to silence somebody when I'm actually promoting. It's like I'm riding for my child. It's like a ride. And y'all want me to shut up about what's going on with my child. And I don't feel like that. If I shut up about it, then nothing's going to be done about it. That's the only reason why I'm speaking. Because I gave y'all months and Sundays to do something about the situation and nobody did nothing. Y'all never contacted me back. Nobody came back to the door. Nobody came and followed up about nothing. And then now I didn't had to call Street Grace or whatever about the situation, and they can't do nothing about it because the father of the child don't want nobody to communicate with the child about the situation, and I'm just not understanding. And then I already sat there and told y'all that the girlfriend was telling my doggone child that came to me because my oldest child came to me and told me about the situation because she was the person that was communicating with the individual over the phone. And after she told the individual that my daughter was a child, my daughter was 10 years old. My daughter, the child that sent the pictures was 9. My oldest daughter is 10. Now they're 10 and 11. At 10 years old, she stood up for her daughter. I mean, stood up for my daughter, her sister. It was just like, this is a child. I don't remember everything that she told me and she said, but she was pretty much at 10 years old sitting there communicating with somebody. I don't care if it was a grown person. I don't care if it was a child. Anybody would have common sense to understand that this is something that you shouldn't have been doing. At any given moment, the person could have bagged out. But then my child came to me because her sister was in the closet saying she was going to harm herself. Judge, you think I'm supposed to shut up about that? When my daughter, nobody seen my child's face. Nobody seen how the reaction was besides me and my children that was in his home. And soon as I gathered myself enough to call her father, I did. And within 10 minutes of the situation, I called her father so he can come to console her, to talk to her. Because I'm just one of those parents. I'm never gonna let something happen around a man's child and not communicate with him about what the hell going on with his child. It's our child, and at the end of the day, our job is to make sure that we protect these children that we brought in. No matter how I may feel about these men, if my children's father would have did everything that he was supposed to be doing, if he would have been protecting my kids while they was not here, I wouldn't have had nothing to say, Judge. Nothing. When I promise you, I wouldn't have had nothing to say. Ask my daughter daddy. Only thing that I have something to say about is the fact that how y'all take a child away from somebody because that's supposed to have mental illnesses that has not been determined at all. And nobody can say that I do have them. And I was taking care of these children very well while dealing with all these mental issues because all this stuff that's going on didn't just happen, in this past year. It's been going on my whole life before I even had a child. So I'm just saying, I was still mentally stable enough to take care of these children, go through all the pain, trauma, and BS that I was going through with these men, and still not care too much because I didn't let it actually get in the way of my job, my main job, which is my kids. I don't understand how in the world y'all just give my child to a man that has mental illnesses, like actually takes medication for it, cannot, pretty much got to have somebody else watching over him. And he's been went to jail a couple of times, not to mention the reason why his mama made it an issue for me to go down there and see my child or even be around him is because he ain't supposed to be around me. But I didn't know that because, Judge, when we went to court, the judge told me, well, yes, I went to court with Mr. Hester. That was my first time ever being arrested. I think I told you about the situation. Um, he came to my house to pick up his doggone child, and I don't know for whatever reason he decided to still want to stay there. So I left, went to the store, got me some cigarettes, got me some Rellos. Yes, Judge, I did, because all I did was smoke weed and stay in my house and mind my business. That's it, because that's the only way I know how to deal with what I got going on. And every man that has been with me, they know that I have serious panic attacks, like extreme panic attacks to the point where I can't breathe and stuff like that. I had one in the partnership building talking to that lady, and I tried my best to calm down because of what was going on with my kids. So That's one thing that I have yet to control. But anyway, that's how I deal with my panic attacks. I smoke. Yeah, that's my effort medicine. As long as I hit it, I can calm down and actually mentally think about what's going on instead of letting it just overtake me to the point where it's, stressing me out so much where I can't even keep my doggone breath. That's it. Um, but yeah, I don't know what I was saying before then. But when it comes to that situation, I pulled back up in my driveway. I said I didn't know what I was saying, but I went right back to the story. I pulled back up to my driveway, and my daughter's father was at my back door using my house phone, calling the police. I did not know what he was calling the police for because we didn't have no interaction, we didn't have no argument, no nothing. I left. I think he wanted to talk to me about something, and I was just like, no. And I do believe that's exactly what happened, Eric. I slid on past you. And now I could have called the police because you was at my house and you didn't want to leave and you was causing a problem. You was just supposed to be coming to get your child, but I'm not one of those type of people. So I slid out the door and I was gonna wait for him to politely leave. This man ended up calling the doggone police and both of us ended up being arrested. The charges was dropped against me, but when we went to court, judge, the lady told me that I need to get an order of protection. I told her no, because we had a new child. Now that's how Mr. Freeman got in the picture because I was pretty much I had to stay away from Mr. Hester. They really wanted me. The court wanted me to stay away from him. Judge, I was scared when that man came in court. He had a red jumpsuit on. I'm just like, what in the world is going on with the red jumpsuit type stuff? Like, I didn't know what happened. But when he was in jail, he was acting a doggone fool. Like they had to so I put him in a little cage by himself. He was banging on the doggone wall, talking to me and stuff through the wall. And I was sitting up there trying to ignore him because I was pissed off, Judge, because I have never been to jail before in my life. And I'm just like, bruh, it was Friday. I was finna go home. I wasn't gonna have no kids, Judge. My oldest 6 children had left. He was finna finally come and get his child. I thought I was finna have at least 24 to 48 hours of a break. I thought life was good. Oh, I was pissed off. I was pissed off because I don't do anything in order to put myself behind bars because I like my freedom. I like my peace, actually. I like my peace more than I like my freedom. And, you know, when you behind bars and incarcerated, you don't really have peace. Especially can't get no peace of mind. So I'd rather just not do nothing and stay at home. Now I understand that weed is not legal. I know. But I ain't never been caught with none, and then I don't really keep it in my house like that. You don't see no alcohol bottles. Like, Judge, my house is clean. You can come in here right now. I mean, I got some stuff on my bed, but that's about it. That's gonna always be. And don't nobody come in my room anyway. Not even my own children. This is my environment. I don't be in theirs. They don't be in mine unless I'm in there cleaning up. But whatever. So it's like I'm confused at how they did that when this man has been in my being multiple times. I done went and seen him. I done took him to his appointments to go to that place that you was trying to send me to. Well, to get the mental health evaluation. Shoot, I used to make his appointments and take him and have him sit down and see what we can do to, try to help him to get off his doggone medicine because all of it is a mental thing. You have to mentally get over stuff. You have to mentally be strong enough to deal with things. Even if you have done wrong, you have to mentally be able to accept the things that you have done and accept the consequences to what your actions have been. All of it is mental. That's the reason why I like being by myself a lot because that's when I can clear my mental. Being around too many people, having too many people opinions and stuff in your ear, it clouds your judgment. I only move to the beat of my own drum. And I encourage my children to do so as well. So, anyway, um, like I was saying, that's where all the mental stuff came from, and they was trying to make it seem like I was just flipping out, but I'm just like, nah, ain't nobody doing nothing about this situation. Ain't nobody hearing me. Ain't nobody doing like this is just too doggone much. And I was really asking for protection and safety when it comes to me and my children because, like I said, something was going on. Even if I couldn't put my finger on it all the way at that present moment, something was going on. And I also know that they was watching the heck out of me on my doggone Facebook page. That's the reason why I was giving them a show to see what was going on and to trap everybody in whatever they was trying to. I don't know what they was trying to do. I guess hide, whatever. I don't know, but I do know that as I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was putting all of it together. Cause come on now, Judge, if you've been staying somewhere for a long time and you ain't never had no problems come to your house at all, never, no problems, and your door just get kicked in automatically, you gonna start thinking something ain't right. Now I don't hang around nobody. Don't nobody come to my home. My kids can tell you that. Them children's fathers of mine can tell you that. Don't nobody come to my house. If you do come to my house unexpectedly, it's gonna be a problem because I'm gonna have attitude. I may not open the door and don't nobody just pop up at my house. You have to have a reason to come to my house. It's my children's home, especially after certain times. That's the reason why they daddy can't drop them off just at no any random time. You have to drop them off no later than 6 o'clock. So between 5:30 and 6, I'm expecting to see my kids. I did not that Sunday did I end up calling the police to get my child and children because I knew as long as I had my daughter that was not his, then I really didn't have to worry about the rest of my kids because they go to school and I could have just picked them up from school. But yes, I was concerned about my child, period. And I had asked that whole weekend, somebody go and get my child. And he said that I was just sending the police over there for no reason. No. If I gave you my child and you know that's not biologically your child and I called you and told you to bring me my child home, you're supposed to bring me my child. That's simple. I don't understand what's so complex about that situation. And if it was a CPS report or something that he said because they was watching me on Facebook Live, then they was supposed to come and actually take my children or child out of my home, not leave it up to him, to take matters in his own hands to keep my child away from me. Yeah, especially when he had been in my house multiple times and none of this actually occurred. He didn't say nothing, yada yada yada. Even the godmother that kept on calling, Miss Knox and giving her information, she was here that previous Friday that we talking about when he got all my kids. She just so happened to pop up at my house and asking, so when is this money gonna come? So she was watching me on Facebook as well. That's why I keep on trying to tell you it was all about some doggone money. And I'm not playing about my kids because, like I said, if they had the best interest at heart about my children, I wouldn't say nothing. Because it ain't like I don't need no help, Judge. I'm 32 years old with 8 children. I'm over here stressing my brain right now trying to figure out how I'm going to get my kids back and forth to school. How am I going to continue to maintain working and taking care of them because I already don't have no help right now, don't have any food stamps to provide, them with food. Um, I don't have any childcare, so that means I won't be able to actually work the job that I was working at this moment. So how would I financially take care of them? I don't receive any child support or anything. Unlike them, when they end up getting temporary custody of my kids, Judge, I'm talking about everything was cut off immediately. Like within that same month, everything was snatched. They went and got Dallas was offered child support. My daughter father ended up getting his $130 something that he give her a month immediately, and June father ain't never gave nothing anyway. So, you know, that's kind of what that is. But anyway, um, I'm still gonna make it happen because my child's wish, my son's wish, I year. Now, asked the lady at partnership when she was sitting there. He said his one wish is for him and his siblings to come home. He's ready to come home. He want to see his sister. He want his brother. My daughters get upset because they say when they do see their little brother, he don't even recognize them no more. And them the children that was taking care of him. When it comes to that youngest son of mine, if it wasn't for them doggone look girls, them oldest children that I had, Sanaya and Danae, my Cancer and my Leo, them two children, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to make it. My kids are my strength. They help each other. They help us. Like we are a family unit. I don't care what nobody say. Can't nobody break that at all. I don't care what nobody say when it come to me and my kids. We ain't never been separated like this, Judge. I've never went days like this without my kids. As long as I've been a mother for 13 years, that screams a lot of volumes. I could have been calling folks left and right. You want to get my children this weekend? No. I'm the type of mother, you come and get my kids. I'm calling you when you gonna bring my children back. When you bring my child back. What my child doing? I'm texting you. I don't even when people come and get my children, Judge, I still don't do nothing. I stay in the house. I wash clothes. I listen to music. I drink alcohol when my kids ain't here. I party at home by myself because it's safe here. I don't trust a lot of people. And if you knew half of what I knew and what I done seen and what I done been through when I was younger, you'll know the reason why I don't trust people. So they was trying to make it seem like I had an issue because I do what I normally do on a daily basis. Well, not on a daily basis, but whenever I'm at home, that's what I do at home. At least my home taken care of. At least my kids taken care of. And yes, my children has been getting straight A's and B's forever, and their grades still are the same, but their environment has changed drastically, and it bothers me mentally a lot. And once again, I don't believe in sitting down talking to somebody about my emotions and my feelings when I can talk to the people who I feel like played a part in it. It's not going to help me. Now, I deal with my situation differently than anybody else. They may be able to go to talk to other folks and it may free them, but it doesn't do anything for me because directly I want to tell the people that I feel like hurt, harmed, or endangered me or my children or emotionally affected me. I want to talk to them directly because I want you to know how it bothered me, how it affected me. So that's what works for me. And that's just what it is. I show my true colors. I'm an open book. Now, with that being said, this is actually the audio snippet version of the book that I was writing behind the scenes this whole time. My life story. And